In the late 1980s, Keptronic Kaohsiung was apparently the third largest monitor manufacturer worldwide, only after NEC and Philips. We had about 1,500 employees, 110 of them allocated to the quality organization. Nevertheless, our offshore customers in the USA and Europe expressed occasionally dissatisfaction with the performance of this factory, guessing that we might not be really up to it and might just have a good time instead. Far from true. In order to fend against this perception, our manufacturing process was videotaped, focusing on detail and, I may say, sophistication, thus providing also those customers who did not have the opportunity to visit us in Taiwan with an overview. At the time, we produced, among others, large quantities of a 14-inch color monitor for Compaq. The video clips shown in the following were aimed at this particular production. But after all this time, I will interlace them now with some relevant photos which are dear to me. We are now in the auto insertion area. 247 components are inserted. They are radial components. We will start axial components in Taipei. After auto insertion, we perform a visual inspection. At this stage, we have about 0.2% fallout due to components not properly inserted. Okay, I will come back to this one later. It follows the manual insertion process. We have paid special attention now to ESD prevention. You can see here in the picture a new IC spender, which is consisting of a metallic rail, and as you see, it is connected to the ground properly. This is the continuation of the manual insertion process. We assemble here the power supply. We have strapped every operator by bracelet to ground. Manual assembly line. At the end of this line, we have an inspection which is handled by production. At this stage, we have about 99% yield, and after this, we will go to the solder wave. We have determined the parameters for optimum operation of the solder wave by trial and error, and we display all the data direct on the solder wave machine. From the solder wave, we take at random boards and inspect them to check the process. Good bad samples are displayed on top of this operation.
The result of this inspection is displayed on these boards in the solder wave area, and from here our supervisors take corrective action.
The grey box with the black insert in the center of this picture is a deionizer, preventing electrostatic build-ups. You will see them positioned across the manufacturing process.
From here we do a 100% inspection and mark poor solder spots, which then will be touched up. Also, the remaining wires on the board will be trimmed.
These images have been photographed of the Martin Marietta workmanship standard and displayed across the manufacturing process wherever appropriate. We choose Martin Marietta, the American rocket manufacturer, as a non-questionable base.
Finally, the board is washed to remove solder flux which had been applied to the board when touching faulty solder spots up. At this point of time we have again a QC operation. The results are for everybody visible, displayed in the production hall. From here we go to in-circuit test and electrical alignment. From here we go to final QC. This is the electrical part. Before the board is brought to the chassis assembly, we do a final visual QC. This is our quality board, bulletin board. We have presently a competition for the operators of the PCB board to make recommendations, and
a 150cc Honda motor scooter went to the best entry. Unfortunately, the reward presentation overwhelmed the recipient. To our great distress, she fainted. But we may assume that she got nevertheless plenty of mileage out of it afterwards. Management by visibility. As far as possible, we had all current yields and problems displayed on the walls of the departments. From vendor rating in IQC, production yields in the production halls, burning room failures and repair data, to finished goods audit results. Never mind that visiting customers might see our problems. This particular display was located at the office of Josh Tsai, Manufacturing QC Manager. Josh wrote poetry as a hobby. A book of his had been published. Returning to the assembly line. Incidents were reported from the field that loose material, such as wire clippings or extra screws, were found in the monitors. Manufacturing engineering built these shakers to drop out such extras. This was part of the manufacturing engineering department. Due to customer confidentiality, the R&D department, working on future product releases, was off limits to video recordings. Another fine example of manufacturing engineering's work. Image quality is here inspected in a simulated Earth's magnetic field equivalent to that existing in Europe. The QA office was located right next to this line. Alec Dallas was our guru for all issues regarding capacitors. He had written a book about capacitors on his Amiga computer. Winner Wu was the QA department's IT engineer. He accomplished wonderful things, such as finding a wife. Oops, this is Yomi-san's wedding picture. Let's see. Yep, this is Winner. Well, he did that, and then he built an AppleTalk local area network feeding data from the Macintosh PCB assembly line to the QA office. We might have been the first company in Taiwan sporting a local area network. After 24 hours operational aging at 40 degrees centigrade, shipments were eventually released as a result of a quality assurance audit. The cubical frame seen here is a magnetic field generator, a Helmholtz chamber. Because CRT-based displays are affected by the ambient Earth's magnetic field, we had to simulate the conditions at the product's geographical destination, like the USA, etc.
And this is an update of our QA audit operation. We are seeing here the inspection on the 14-inch and in the background of the 16-inch.
Stan Glasgow had identified a new instrument in Silicon Valley, allowing on-screen parameters to be measured with unsurpassed accuracy. QA and R&D, and therewith our customers, benefited immensely by the acquisition of the Microvision.
This is a view over the whole audit area.
We also accommodated some customers' third-party inspectors, such from SGS.
This is a view in the SGS inspection cabin. This is SGS inspection cabin number 2. We are inspecting the 16-inch in here.
Reliability lab. Seen here, climate chamber, vibration table, drop tester. Product reliability verification was a strong suit of ours. Stress level of every component was carefully measured, and the results fed into an Arrhenius equation-based program to calculate the product's mean time between failure. At the time, the typical required spec was 20,000 hours. Our customer Memorex, formerly Burroughs, invited me to Durham, North Carolina, to participate on a course about Edward Deming's quality philosophy. In the late 1950s, Deming was instrumental in implementing quality in Japanese factories.
This is our newly installed FCC chamber. We invested $500,000 US. Battery. God, port. The chamber is in compliance with FCC and FTZ requirements. The measurement equipment has been imported from West Germany. The chamber itself has been bought in America. The attenuation of the shield room is 100 dB. We are here in the control room. We are now inside the shield room. We are performing here the 3-meter measurement method. The chamber will be used for design purpose and ongoing correlation tests. Not only high-frequency noise, but you may have noticed also acoustic reflections are suppressed, hence anechoic chamber. From the cappies and anti-static uniforms the girls on the lines were wearing, to the $500,000 investment into an anechoic chamber for radio interference control, no detail had been left unaddressed. At the time, evidence of process capability was what was needed to be demonstrated. However, after all these years, it appears unfortunate that the team who brought the company to number 3 is not presented. Deming's words, "The most precious asset of a company are its people. The company has to invest into them." I have only a few photos left which may represent them, such as from a company trip. We were on top. From the business and R&D departments, Iris Liang, Bill Xiao, Teresa Wu, Thomas Chan. Transferring from Aztec Hong Kong, Thomas stayed with us for a while. From the Quality Assurance Department, Johnny Cheng, IQC, Ho San, Audit, Shu San, Agency Compliance. Roger Chen with some of his R&D team. Next to me, Mei Li from the Business Department. Next again, my capable secretary, Yomi-san. I remember her battling the customs officers to get me out of the free trade zone, carrying a product sample to the USA. Stan crossed the Pacific to beat me in tennis. Richard Chan, treating us well. Last not least, a thank you to the girls who put it all together. Ko-san, president and original owner, started the company in Taipei. Norbert Wirsching, CEO, drummed up worldwide OEM customers, so did Stan Glasgow, president of marketing and sales. Stan was instrumental in identifying computer monitors as a viable product for the company. Chuck MacArthur. Roger Chen and Jesse Su were R&D managers. Kudo-san, Jesse Su, and Richard Chan were factory managers. Jim Claxton, Mark Fisher, Argo Lin were business managers. Adrian Ma, finance, located in Hong Kong. Agner Eike. This is just to mention a few who shaped the company.